What's your initial feeling halfway through One Country, Two Systems 50-year experiment?
Well, I think it's very sad because in the initial years of the handover, people did enjoy freedom, personal safety, the rule of law. There were huge, huge demonstrations, very peaceful and orderly, and no one was arrested. But in the last few years, many of my party members and many activists have been arrested, and they are languishing in jail. Some have been locked up there for now coming up to maybe 600 days with no trial. This is not the Hong Kong we know and love. So now that Xi Jinping is here, I hope the central government will know that most of us are patriots. We're not fighting for independence or revolution to overthrow the government. No, we want the promises in the Sino-British Joint Declaration and the Basic Law so that we can return to the days of safety, of freedom, rule of law, and develop democracy. And of course, we would love to have a peaceful, stable, and prosperous economy.
Do you think there is room for political healing in this city, or is the die cast, is the damage done with the electoral reform? Will the Democrats ever have a say in Hong Kong politics again?
Of course there's room. We never advocate violence. We don't want, and we cannot use violence to solve the problem. How can you be more violent than People's Liberation Army or the National Security Police?
Then what happened? Why in 2019 and 2020 it turned violent? Was it provoked? Was it misguided? What?
I don't know. I think it's very tragic and very unfortunate that it happened. My party, many of us did not support it, and we asked for an independent inquiry to find out how it happened, why it happened. Some said, oh, it was CIA money, foreign interference. Okay, let's find out. We're not just investigating the police, because there was police brutality, but there was brutality on the other side as well. So let us find out. So I think what we need is a commission of inquiry for the authorities to reach out, to have dialogue with the opposition, with the Hong Kong people. You know, this is a city that is split asunder. There are those who are very pro-Beijing, and there are those who are very angry, very disturbed. So how do we heal this wound?
By voting, what?
Xi Jinping has the key. If he allows the Hong Kong administration, the new chief executive, John Lee, and others, to go out and engage with not just my party, but engage with the opposition, engage with them.
Will he do that? Because Carrie Lam came in 2017 with an olive branch following the obvious disruptions of the umbrella movement and Occupy Central. But it quickly turned sour when she introduced the extradition bill. She even donated to the Democratic Party out of her own pocket.
$30,000. She went to the Civic Party's gathering. She visited the Professional Teachers Union, the Hong Kong Journalists Association. And what did she say? She said, oh, President Xi Jinping said that was a very good beginning. So even Beijing approved. But then, in her misguided way, she introduced the extradition bill. And even when 1 million, 2 million people marched peacefully, she refused to withdraw the bill. So that's why some people call her the sinner for 1,000 years. And she should be held responsible for a lot of the trouble. So now, we're turning over a new leaf. I agree with John Lee. So let's start afresh.
Are you cautiously optimistic? I mean, yes, he's a career law enforcement official. Yes, he wants to push for Article 23. Yes, there's going to be more security.
A law on fake news as well. If I tell you I'm optimistic, people will say my head needs examining. My friend, I wasn't born yesterday, but I am positive. And I will do my best. I stepped down from the Legislative Council in 2016. But I said, I will never step down from the fight for human rights, rule of law, personal freedom, and democracy. So I will not. But I will do it in a peaceful and non-violent way. So I will continue to speak out until I'm not allowed to or not able to.
We talk a lot about the erosion of the civil society and maybe the self-censorship that is going on because of the vaguely written national security law. Is that the new normal for Hong Kong in an international financial center where we need transparency, we need critical, clear dialogue as well?
I agree. But the civil society, is it completely collapsed? Maybe not, my party is still here, but it's shrinking very fast. And you're right, to continue to be an international business and financial center, we need the freedom of movement of people, the freedom of movement of assets and money, and the free flow of information. So we need all that. And I hope President Xi Jinping understands that. And Hong Kong can and should play a very critical role in the development of China. But for him to appreciate that we are not a threat. Don't listen to people who say that we are a threat, we are trying to overthrow the Communist Party. No, that is not true. Have confidence in the people. Then maybe the people will have confidence in the authorities.
We heard on Sunday through state media that the 5 main marching orders for John Lee, number 1 is a correct implementation of one country, 2 systems. Is that essentially, bridging the divide between the rich and the poor, doing all those economic reforms, while on the same side you're going to have that political lobotomy? Forget politics, concentrate on economics, and the Hong Kong will be stable. Do you buy that?
No. Politics and economics are 2 sides of the same coin. Although we've never had democracy, we have never had the right to elect our government, but Hong Kong people enjoy so many political freedoms for so many years. That's why we've been vibrant and free. We have no democracy, but the level of freedoms and personal safety we enjoy over the years is much higher than many places which have periodic elections.
Right.
So even if we can return to that and then develop democracy, that would be good for Hong Kong.
I want to give the final word to those pro-democracy supporters who are still in prison because they have not had their day in court yet. They're bogged down in the procedural matters of the national security law and, of course, the court proceedings. You visit them a lot. How's their spirit holding up, generally speaking?
Well, I did not visit all of them, but I visit quite a number of them, and they are very tough. You know, they are holding up. They are spiritually, they are tough. They are, but they think it's so unfair to them and their families, their relatives, their supporters. They are very unhappy. So on this day, the 25th anniversary, people are celebrating. But some of these people and their friends and relatives, they feel so sad. Does this have to go on? We want to turn over a new leaf, a new page, give everybody a chance so that Hong Kong can emerge as a phoenix